In this clip, we'll continue looking at searching with the Queensland Family History Society data search application. We'll look at some of the more advanced features including sorting, handling codes in fields, and non-English characters. In addition to this clip, you can find out more information about these features through the inbuilt help provided in the data search application. When the records which match your specification are displayed, they'll be sorted on the field with Sort By ticked. Records which have the same text for this field will then be sorted on the second sort field. The default sort order is the first, then the second field. The sheep brands table has a record for each year the brand was registered. This explains the seeming duplication of some records. We can see that the records have been sorted, but this is only apparent in the second field because the first field is always Smith. When you change the sort fields, it does not have to be a field in which you have entered text. For example, you might like to sort on year. We can now see that the records have been sorted by year, then given name, but this has placed records for the same person out of sequence. If we reverse the sort fields, given name, then year, we get a more appropriate result. It is worth noting that results from a search will be the same whether you enter your text in uppercase, lowercase, or a mixture. The relationship between one field and the next will affect the result of a search. When searching, records will be selected to meet both criteria if the and/or box is ticked, which means and either if unticked, which means or. For example, if you wish to select records for Alexander Johnston, enter Johnston in the surname field, Alexander in this given names field, and ensure that the and/or box between surname and given names is ticked. This gives us 5 records which meet both criteria. If we untick the and/or box between surname and given names, we get a very different result. This selects records which meet either of the criteria or both. In field searches which specify a mixture of and or specifications, the and operator takes precedence over the or operator. For example, the selection Smith and John or Cairns would be treated as if brackets were inserted. The result is that all records for Cairns would be returned together with any additional records that contain Smith John, whether or not John Smith was in Cairns. It is unlikely that you will use the and or box to create an or condition when using field searches. It will be more useful in keyword searches, which we will discuss in the next clip. If the data collection includes coded fields, the code button becomes available. All codes in the data collection can be listed by clicking on the button. This will help you choose the relevant code. In this table we can see 2 codes used for the sex of the person. If we enter M into the sex field, the result is 5,620 records, that is 5,620 males named Smith. If we enter anything in the field, we must enter one of the codes, not one or more words from the associated text. If we entered male, it will not work. Some databases include accented characters from languages other than English, especially where they include people from European countries. These characters are collectively referred to as diacritics. Since many keyboards do not provide support for entry of diacritic characters, data search supports searching for foreign spellings by treating groups of characters as equivalents. Diacritics searching is enabled only if the database has at least one diacritic. We switch it on by clicking on the toggle switch at the top. The box below shows its state. When diacritic searching is enabled, the characters in the groups displayed in this chart are considered to be equivalent. If we were looking for a record for Max Muller, Muller spelt with an umlaut over the U, we can turn on diacritics and type Muller using an ordinary U. The result includes several Max Mullers, and at the end of the list we find a record with an umlaut. Because diacritic searches slow down the return of results, even when the database does not contain any diacritics, the function is normally turned off. In the next clip, we'll look at how we can undertake advanced searches using data search. In particular, we'll look at the use of wildcards and keyword searches.